All right. Third time's a charm here.
Yes.
I'm going to practice. Just like bags, huh?
Yep.
You call it bags or cornhole?
I mean, I call it bags, but I know it's cornhole.
Yeah, I don't know. That's one of the issues I don't give a shit about.
I don't either.
It's like this or that. What about pineapples on pizza?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah? Is that a all the time or like sometimes?
No, like whenever I order pizza, I would like one of them to be. And I don't think it's the best.
Yeah.
I think part of me likes it more because a lot of people don't like it. But I like it's not like if we're, I don't know how I'm trying to explain this. If there's an option to get pineapples on pizza, yes.
Okay.
But actually only with Canadian bacon.
Interesting. So I like pineapple on pizza, but I also really enjoy other kinds of pizza.
Yes.
So I don't always put it on there. Like if it's a meat lovers, I probably wouldn't. But like you said, with having some Canadian bacon on there, I really like that with then like some barbecue sauce. Rinaldi's
Yes.
makes that.
So that's a
and it's
Hawaiian pizza.
unbelievable. Yeah.
That's the only pizza I'll have pineapple on.
So good.
So like if that's the option, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand
I
the
wouldn't just
people
put
who
it
are
on
either
there.
like it always belongs on pizza or it never does. I'm like,
No,
I
it
don't know.
belongs in one scenario.
yeah. So I could understand why if you don't like pineapple on pizza, you would say never. But for people that really like pineapple on pizza, you're saying that always goes on
Right.
pizza? That's weird.
That's yes.
Yeah. What about those like dessert pizzas? They have it at like buffets and like Chuck E. Cheese. It's like cinnamon sugar all over it.
Fuck yeah.
You don't put pineapple on that.
Oh fuck no.
No, those are so
but you get
good,
those.
though.
You order those because they're good.
Yeah, you max out on those on a buffet.
Yes.
On everything, really.
Yes. What was the one that we had at the place Stoli Works?
La Crosta,
Yes.
one. Oh, it was no, that's a Nutella pie. That's a little different.
Oh,
that
but it was
one
pizza
is
crust.
Unbelievable. Yeah, that's at La Crosta Woodfire on Lincoln Avenue in Chicago. If you're in the area, you need to go to La Crosta.
And you need to. Well, what did you say it was
Unbelievable.
called? A Nutella pie.
Yeah, the Nutella pie.
Fuck, that was good. We got to go back for that. At
do.
least once before prep.
For sure. All right, I'm gonna toss it in your mouth. Third time's a charm. There it is.
I almost went down my fucking
Touchdown.
throat.
That did. That was a fucking nothing but net.
I was like, it was a good throw. I couldn't fuck that up.
Yeah. So are you bulking then through the holidays?
Yes and no. I mean,
Okay.
I got big
Mm-hmm.
the last couple months.
Same.
Like
Is that relationship weight or just like not monitoring or what do you attribute that to?
both.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've been going off the rails literally since the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like November was the first weekend I took both nights off of drinking. Like Friday, Saturday. It got out of control.
Yeah.
So I again, the relationship didn't help,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like without it, I wouldn't have been doing as much.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like I'd still go with Rylan and all those guys regardless.
Yeah.
The eating out though has definitely been picking up. So I kind of told myself, you know what? Enough's enough.
Yep.
So I think I'm down like 7 pounds in the last 3 weeks now.
Shit. Yeah, I'm actually kind of going into I lessened my deficit. So I'm in
Cause you went strict at first.
I was, yeah. And I'm going pretty much really only in like a 300-ish calorie deficit. And I'm kind of just chilling there because I'm waiting until you start your prep.
Yeah.
And when you start your prep, I'm going to get really serious about it. And
Fuck yeah.
what I'm going to do is once I get down to around 190 pounds, I'm going to see whether or not, like right around where you have your show, it would be probably like 3 months out, depending on where I'm at. As I get
Mhm.
leaner, I might be like,
Let's fucking do it.
if I'm already 3/4 of the way there, why not just do it, right? So it just kind of depends where I'm at, but I'm not like ruling out just like saying fuck it and doing a men's physique show
That'd be so sick.
out of nowhere.
Would we do the same show?
Probably not.
Okay,
but
you'd
it would
pick a
be-
different show.
Yeah, but I would maybe want to have it like a month before or like a month after or something.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably want mine the month before because that would suck if like you just finish your prep, you're ready to like go out and go ham.
That's true.
So maybe that
like
would
the
make
same,
sense
same
then.
thing. Yeah.
Maybe it would make sense to do the same show. We would just be competing in different classes.
Yeah.
I literally couldn't do bodybuilding even if I wanted to because of my quads.
So your quads are different.
Yeah, because of my knee surgery, my right quad was inserted. So they have to like, completely detach it. And when you're going through rehab, the first thing you have to do is, regain range of motion. But after that, and while you're doing that, you have to like relearn how to flex your quad. Like you'll sit there and you're trying to flex it and you can't. So they use like an EMG machine that measures your muscle output, and they'll, you know, keep track of that and try to increase that for a while. So like it's weird though, because my quads can never be symmetrical.
But I just want to pause for a second. For those of you that think just, oh, if you want to flex your quad, just squeeze harder, because that's what goes on in my head. When someone says something like that, I'm like, but just try fucking harder.
Yeah.
Because how can you not connect to it?
Yeah.
So I know some of you are listening to this, and that's exactly what went through your mind. Just to show you, or to put that into perspective, try and spread your toes as far as you can, and try and lift each individual toe. So start with the big toe, put the big toe back down. Now try and lift that middle toe, but keep all the other toes down. It's not fucking happening, isn't it? Right? So you know what you want to do, and you're trying to do it, but your body won't let it happen.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what it's like. Because when you were doing that, I was like, just flex it harder. But then I had to remind myself, no, that doesn't happen. Try your toes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm pissed off actually sitting here right now.
So it's funny. When you were saying it, I was doing it. I could do it with my big toe, my middle toe, and my pinky toe.
You can get the middle toe up without anything else.
Yeah.
You're a fucking wizard.
But that's the only I can do. Not like the middle toe, the one inside the big toe.
Do it. Okay, but is the one next to it coming up?
Mm-mm. And now that I'm on the spot, I can't do it. Yeah. Wait. Oh. Nope. Big toe came up that time.
But it's
I got
like
it right now.
No, because these toes are coming up a little bit.
Fuck me. So.
Oh, okay. Let's dive into this for a second.
Okay. Yeah.
We're pinning what you said.
Okay.
How important do you think like foot, not mobility, but feet strength and like the articulation between the toes? How important do you think that is for whether you say day-to-day life or like training?
Slim to none.
Okay. So you're not one of those believers that everything starts at the foot?
With movement, absolutely. But I know lots of guys that really strong, they can squat really heavy, they're good single leg stability, and they can't do that shit with their toes.
Yes.
I do think it can't do any harm. Like it's good. I'd say like the same thing with like stretching and mobility. Like for me, here's the reason why I've been stretching every night when Jesse and I watch Netflix is, well, first of all, the reason I have to do that is I hate stretching. So the only way I can do it is if I'm distracted.
Yes.
And I'll just kind of set a stopwatch on my phone. And then once it hits like 30 seconds, I switch and hold every stretch kind of for like a minute total. I feel better.
Yes.
Right? Is my mobility better? Maybe a little bit. But most of it is just because my joints feel better. And I feel like I do better in my lifts. There's not a lot of research that backs that up, but you just feel it when you do it, right? So with that kind of stuff, I've spent time doing that for like periods of time, but it's one of those things where when you stop using it, after a little while, you lose it. And it's like bit by bit. And then like one day you try to like do something you used to be able to, and you're like,
you can't do it.
Like, dude, I think about that with basketball. I used to be a decent ball handler. That sounds so funny to say that. That's actually the term that they use in basketball. And so like, it's because it also sounds so stupid if you're like, oh, I can dribble the ball really well. Like,
right.
Dude, shut the fuck up. Then you go, I'm a ball handler. And you go, do you want to unpack that?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. But now like I try to do some of the stuff I used to, and I just like don't have the coordination. You just lose it. And I forgot where I was going with that. Back to the feet.
Yes.
So you don't lose it. You don't use it. You lose it after a while. But I can say that when I was doing a lot of that consistently and I could move like most of my toes individually, my single leg stability was a lot better. I noticed during like heavy Bulgarian split squats. And it's get a little bit more challenging now, but you also have to consider that I am going heavier. So there's that too.
I always think it's just like, it depends on your goals. And one of the reasons I bring it up is because one of my clients has super flat arches. Yeah. And she wants to run an Ironman. Okay. I always get Ironman and triathlon confused. Ironman's like a double triathlon essentially, right?
So I don't know, to be honest.
I don't know. All I know is on Ironman sounds brutal, but she has really flat feet. So I want to try out doing some foot, like strengthening exercises and foot mobility with her to see if that helps with the arch to make running easier, because she's getting hip pain in the left hip. But like, that's what I was trying to say is like, there's one of my clients, and this is the first client I've done this with since I've been in Chicago.
Yeah.
But is it worth spending extra time on that, or would it make more sense spending extra time on everything else?
I mean, I think a lot of that can probably be like, I don't want to say fixed, but improved through single leg training and just learning how to actually use the muscles in your feet. But I think for some specific people I mean, like how hard is it to do 5 or 10 minutes of that a day? You know, that's something obviously like, you're like, you're going to tell them to do that before the session. Like you don't want to spend time in an hour doing that.
I have her do it on like when she's home or like if she's sitting at her desk, like take a lacrosse ball and just like foam roll the bottom of your feet out, try and wake some of the muscles up there. So it's stuff we're not spending time in the gym doing it. She's doing this all on her own.
I used to pick up pinto beans with my toes, and I had to pick it up with like a different toe each time.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Why?
Just for
why pinto beans?
Because they're really small and hard to pick up.
That's funny.
Yeah, we would do that.
Why not rice?
It's a good question. Just what my
gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, so one of my baseball coaches had us do. He had us do that, and then a lot of single leg stability on an AirX pad. So those we'd like be on one foot, and you're kind of jumping on and try to land on, and then when you go on the ground, you go ground right back up, like quick, like ankle pops, right?
I like that.
And so we'd go on one leg, and you'd go like front to back a few times, and then we go side to side a few times, and then we go like start in front and go back and forward. Every direction we go diagonal, like any kind of direction, we're using all different kinds of angles on that. And it was so fucking hard. Like your whole calf is just on fire.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah.
That'd be a great calf workout.
It is. And honestly, it made all single leg training feel so easy.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. I just got away from it because it's like I don't play sports anymore. Who cares? Just get huge.
Your goals are different now.
Yeah, a lot different for sure.
What's the weirdest exercise a coach has put you through, like a strength coach has made you do or told you to do?
That's a good question. I haven't really done any like weird or stupid shit.
Not like
I've had done stupid shit by myself. But I've never had like a weird thing.
So I asked you this question knowing what I wanted to say.
I knew that.
Yeah, right. Is that a Chris D'Elia thing?
That's
his
like,
dad.
That's something that he would ask.
Yeah.
Like he would think about,
Right. I fucking hate that we watch it so much now because that's how my mind works.
Well, that happened. We thought about it one time. It was when we had some of the other trainers together.
Yes.
Yeah, we talked about that.
I think we talked about that on the podcast.
Sure. Yeah.
No, so the one thing that came to mind with me was to strengthen up the fingers and the wrists and forearms and stuff was get a big like 10-gallon bucket from Home Depot and fill it up with rice, stick your hands in there, and then you can do it with the fingers or the hands, but like spell out the alphabet just to like strengthen up all of that. She's like, you're a receiver. You need to have strong hands, strong fingers. And I was like, yes, sir.
Yeah. You told him you were already choking the chicken?
Yeah, was it 5-knuckle shuffle, baby? No, butter in the corn.
That's a nice one, too. I've done like a forearm roller. That's not weird, though.
Did you see me doing those Bam Bams the other day? Well, you were training your client by the third.
barbell?
Yeah, so you have it here and you just try and gently tap the front and then the back.
Yeah, that's deceiving.
That's brutal.
Yep.
People have seen me do that before. Like Bill, I've had a couple of my clients do it. They've seen me do it and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, just try it.
That's funny.
Like, how many reps? I'm like, go for 5. Like, 5? I'm like, fine, 10.
I did have one trainer who would have me, this was like outside of our sessions, but he would have me hold my baseball bat and just rotate back and forth.
Ooh.
And you hold the very bottom because it's top. Most of them are top heavy, and you're just rotating back and forth.
Like here?
Yeah, that's brutal.
We did that with, so our squat racks had those like metal thing, whatever. It basically looked like a Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
So our strength coach called them Thor's hammer. And yeah, you go here and you try and rotate as far out as you can and back. That is brutal.
Yeah, basically the same thing. Yeah, it's fucking hard.
Well, I can imagine. Because a baseball bat was probably heavier too.
So mine was a 32-inch, 29-ounce bat.
Oh, not a 36-44.
We had a trainer we used to work with, and he said that he set the high school state record in like stolen bases and something else, and
Did he say he played in college too?
I think he said he was like gonna play at LSU and he got hurt. Or no, he said he was on LSU's track team. I don't know if he said he played baseball for him too. But our buddy Forrest challenged him, and he was like, "Oh, okay, like what kind of bat did you use?" And he's like, "Oh, use whatever." I don't even know if he named the brand or whatever, but he goes, "What lengths did you use?" And he goes, "I use a 36-44." So when you're talking about baseball bats, the first number is the length of the bat in inches. The biggest bat in the NFL or in the MLB that I remember watching growing up. I haven't watched baseball in 5 years probably, like consistently.
Yeah.
The biggest bat I ever saw anybody using was Alfonso Soriano, and he was a Cubs left fielder, and he swung a 35-inch bat. Now, if you're not familiar, that is a big ass fucking bat. The longest bat I ever used was a 33. You had a guy, and this Alfonso Soriano is about 6'1". They hit a guy on his team, Derek Lee, as our first baseman. He was 6'6", and he swung a 32-inch bat. You're like, those guys should fucking swap those out.
Yes.
But the other number is the weight in ounces. So in college and high school, it's traditional to use what they call a drop 3, meaning whatever the length is, you can drop 3 ounces.
Is that -3 on the bat?
Yep. And that's the most you could, that's the lightest your bat can be, by the way.
So it has to be 3 ounces lighter than the length of the bat.
Yeah, can't be any lighter than that. And you can have a drop 2, drop 1, or something that's like the same weight.
Would you ever go plus?
No, you never see that. They don't even make them.
Okay.
And except for like weighted bats that are meant to be used in training. So there's not bats used
and I
in
want
a game.
And I want to talk about that in a second, so we're going to put a pin in that, but keep going.
But anyway, so this dude said he used a 36-inch 44-ounce bat, and that's how we knew he was lying, and that he probably didn't play baseball in high school either.
44-ounce bat, though? Try swinging that.
Good luck.
Okay, so with the weighted bats, because this was, and I think it's more recent research that's come out, because when I played baseball way back in the day, we would put the donut on the bat, and we'd swing it during warm-ups, or like, people think if you box with 2.5-pound weights, you're going to get stronger. But with those movements, because they're timing and they're supposed to be quick, isn't that not advantageous to like swing a bat with the donut on, or swing like 3 bats when you're warming up, or punching with like weights, because you're not necessarily strengthening the movement. I get the idea behind it, because it's like swing a heavier bat, so you're strengthening up the muscles that swing. Punch with a heavier fist, essentially, so you get more power with that. But isn't there research that shows that that's wrong?
So we've had a lot of coaches in the last handful of years that have gotten away from weighted bats. Because the thing is, it's like a psychology thing, right? You see a guy that's throwing gas on the mound, and you're getting ready to go up to the plate, and you're like, shit, I got to get this bat around so I can hit this guy that's throwing 95. And so then once you drop the weight, you feel like you're swinging faster. You're really not. The reason a lot of coaches have been getting away from it in training is because a lot of them believe it makes your swing slower, actually, because you try to muscle it out, and it's not supposed to be like just all muscle. Like,
it's not a strength movement.
You're trying to create like a spring in your core and create so much torque that when your hips rotate, your shoulders just throw the bat through the zone. And some coaches have even got into doing a lot more like wiffle ball bat work with wiffle balls, because that can teach you to swing fast and to be fast through the zone, right? So
is that like a little soft toss from the side just with wiffle ball?
Yeah, or in front with like an L screen.
Because we saw that video where the guy had like 3 ping pong balls, and one of them was colored, and he had to hit the colored ball.
Yeah, shit's hard.
I was watching that, and it was hurting my mind.
It's crazy. So yeah, we didn't really use weighted bats towards the end. Like when I was in college, we didn't use them.
Yeah.
And at that point too, like if you're like basically our strength work was made to strengthen those muscles, and then when you're practicing, you're just practicing.
Right, because you want it to be as sport specific as possible.
Yeah.
Which is like, why would you swing with, 44-ounce bat?
Yeah, and you can kind of create some bad habits too with like dropping your back shoulder too much. Like you have to drop it as you swing. But you can get into Ralphie, come on, man. You can get into bad habits with just letting the head of the bat drop like too low and Just get a little bit loopy
That's
with
how you
your
hit
swing.
home runs. You got to come up from under.
To an extent, yeah. It's like a dip and rip.
And you're like, well, what was your on-base percentage? Well, if you hit a home run, what does that count towards on-base percentage?
What any other hit would.
Okay, it would.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't think I would have any on-base percentage because I either hit a home run or I strike out.
That's funny. There's a
I also played in-house.
guys like that. Yeah.
That's Miguel Sano.
Yeah.
And the Twins. Oh, he's a third baseman, I think. Dude's fun to watch when he fucking crushes it.
Yeah.
But then when he's up to bat, it's like it's happened too many times for how little I watch baseball. But it's ninth inning, Twins are down by, run or two, couple runners on base, and he's up, 2 outs. It's exciting because you're like, if anyone's going to hit a home run, it's going to be him.
Yeah.
And then he just fucking strikes out.
That sounds like Javier Baez he was on the Cubs. He's on the Mets now, but it's off season. But I think he might come back to the Cubs. I don't know. He was like on a rental deal, basically.
I got a perfect bet for the NFL picks.
What?
Loser buys the winner tickets to the Cubs Twins game here next year.
Deal.
Like that's
stupid, but whatever.
That's manageable.
I'll do it. We're shaking on it right now.
Yeah, I'm shaking on it right now.
I don't know whose camera that's going to be on, but
I don't know if it's going to be.
Maybe Tandon can like split screen it. I don't know. But I feel like we don't know what our NFL record is right now.
We're within a game.
We're close.
I bet.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go back.
We tied last week.
We also haven't posted the graphics since week 5.
I know. I mean, I have the
maybe I'll
picks
post
minus 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we'll add that up.
I was gonna say because we were tied going into 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And then we tied last week. So depending on how 2 weeks ago went,
that'll determine it.
Yeah, because we were both. No, just kidding. I won by 1
last week
because we both picked the Rams.
And the week before that, weren't you up a week or weren't you up a game?
By week 8. So week 9, I don't have in yet.
Okay.
Week 10, I won by 1 game.
So I think that would make you up by 2 total.
So then depending on what happened in week 9. So we'll go back and
we'll have to check that out. Well, we're behind on 2 weeks. So should we get into some picks for this week?
Probably should.
Yeah, I say we're behind 2 weeks. What I mean by that is this podcast this is going out on Thanksgiving, by the way.
We didn't fucking say happy Thanksgiving.
Happy fucking Thanksgiving. That's 24 minutes in. It's all good.
Fuck.
So happy Thanksgiving.
Oh my gosh. We got to talk Thanksgiving food.
We do, but
should we do that after the picks?
Yeah, we got to get into these picks first, and then we'll talk some Thanksgiving. Yeah, we got to get into these picks. So, week 11, which is this week. Right now, it's Thursday, November 18th. So, we're technically a week out from Thanksgiving. We didn't talk. Oh, no, we said NFL picks, then Thanksgiving food.
Yes.
So, week 11, first game tonight, Thursday night, Patriots at Falcons. Who do you got?
I'm on the Mac Jones train. I'm taking the Pats.
I am too, man. I like Mac Jones. I like the Patriots. I think they win. Sunday, Ravens Bears.
Oh God, I want to take the Ravens, not because of the Bears, but because I know what the Ravens are capable of. But they just lost to the Dolphins. Yeah, and I'm not like Dolphins aren't anything special.
They're not good,
but they're also not the worst team.
No, and it's a week to week league, man, with injuries and all that. Who are you taking, Ravens?
I'm going to go Bears.
Yeah? Me too.
And the reason I'm going Bears is because of how close the Vikings and the Bears are standings-wise.
Yeah.
And I just got a feeling the Bears are going to pull through. Just because of what normally happens to the Vikings.
Yeah. And Fields has been getting better and better each week. The Ravens' pass defense is also 32nd in the league. I think Fields is going to keep building. And
I think your defense needs to stop Lamar.
They need to step up for sure. I don't know. Let me check the Bears injury report right now. I don't know if Khalil Mack is coming back this week or not.
Oh, I mean, that wouldn't change my pick, but
same. What's up?
I know the Vikings injury report just came out too. I should probably look at that. I think Harrison Smith is back.
Khalil Mack did not practice. This was yesterday, I think. Oh, no, this is 2 hours ago. So Akeem Hicks didn't practice. Eddie Jackson is limited. Khalil Mack didn't practice. A-Rob didn't practice. I mean, there's weeks, though, where Khalil Mack doesn't practice all week, and then he plays in the game.
Yes.
So,
I feel like a lot of like star athletes with a little ding will do that because they don't need the mental
No.
reps are good enough.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Mm-hmm. When you're that good and you've had
Yes.
that much experience.
I don't think you could do that for 4 weeks in a row, but
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably true. So I'm taking the Bears. I'm going to be at that game. I'm going to be hammered. It's going to be a good time. So next game, Packers at Vikings.
Vikings.
I'm taking the Packers because I think
They're
gonna
not
win.
favored by that much.
I know. Well, it's in the same division. It's away.
And it's home for the Vikings.
Yeah,
The Vikings are coming off a good win.
Yeah. I mean, I know you're going to pick the Vikings. Yeah.
Yeah, as a Vikings.
I think it'll be a good game.
I think it'll be a good game.
Yeah, I think it'll be a really good game.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout one way or another.
No. Packers are only favored by 2.5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that'll be a good one. Then we have the Colts at Bills.
I'm taking the Bills.
Yeah, I am too. Lions at Browns.
I want to take the Lions because they need to get one.
They tied the Steelers.
They did, and the Steelers are better than the Browns.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to go Browns.
Yeah, me too. Washington at Panthers.
If I did not have Cam Newton on my fantasy team, I would take Washington, but I'm taking the Panthers because I'm hoping Cam Newton goes off.
Dude,
That's going to be a good game.
I do think it'll be a decent game.
And watch one team just get fucking smoked.
I know.
We sit here
I feel
and
like I'm taking. I sit here like what I'm thinking of makes sense at all. The reason I'm taking the Panthers is just because they're at home. That's pretty much it. Because I think they're both average. I think the Panthers are a little bit better, but also they're at home, and home teams win about like 59% of the time.
Well, we sit here and we debate. One, like we really know what we're talking
We don't
about,
know what the fuck
and
we're
two,
talking about.
and what shows is like, oh, this is gonna be a good game. I can see it going either way, and one team will get
Blows them
fucking
out.
smoked.
Or I thought that the 49ers were gonna get it kind of handed to them by the Rams.
By the Rams, and we both
and the
said
Rams
that.
got their ass beat.
Yes.
So that's hilarious. I'm a casual NFL fan. I'm a diehard Bears fan. You ask me like about Bears stuff,
Yep.
I'll fucking rattle shit off the top of my head, and I literally have already convinced myself on how they can win every game the rest of the season.
Oh yeah, I'll do it every week.
Yeah. So I got the Panthers in that game. Then we have Texans at Titans.
Titans.
Yeah, and this is where I got to be careful. This is another game where I'd say the Titans are going to blow them out. And now watch the Titans get their asses kicked. I'm going to take the Titans, and I think they should beat the shit out of the Texans. I don't know if they will.
The only question mark, is the running game.
Yeah.
Without Derek, I know Adrian Peterson, and I'll fucking love that guy forever. But he's obviously not what he used to be, which is why he was not on the team before.
Yeah. He's my favorite Vikings player of all time.
Yeah, I might have to agree with that.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs has a close second, though.
Yeah, he's good. Justin Jefferson's not up there?
Well, I just
Not
said
yet.
Diggs because of the Minneapolis Miracle.
That's true. Now we got the 49ers at Jacksonville.
I'm taking the Niners.
Yeah, me too. And they're going to get a wild card spot, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they'll win the
That's
division.
a good division.
Yeah, it is a good division. I just think the Rams got off to too good of a start.
And
to
so do
give
the
that division
Cardinals.
up. Yeah, they did too.
Because the Cardinals will get a wild card.
Yep. Do they get Kyler Murray back?
That I don't know. It's both Murray and Hopkins.
Okay. So they're going to have 2 of the 3 wild card spots.
That's I like how they have the third wild card
Me
spot.
too. We'll have to look at the playoff
So,
picture after we do these picks.
They're also talking about in the next probably 10 years adding in 4 more teams. Because I think they're trying to get to 18 games.
Really?
And that would make the most sense with like 36 teams
yeah.
would make it easier.
Yeah.
So I know they were talking about adding a team back to St. Louis,
Wow.
adding a team in Ontario, adding a team. Fuck. And I don't even care enough to look this up, but they're adding 2 more. So St. Louis was potentially going to get another football team. There's going to be a Canadian team in the NFL.
Wow.
I think that would be bizarre.
That would be wild because you'd think that they would just play in the CFL.
Right.
I mean, they have Toronto Blue Jays and the Toronto Raptors. That would be an NFL.
And in the You mean NHL? Or no, you said NBA.
Yeah,
MLB,
and
NBA.
MLB.
There's also
NHL too.
NHL teams too.
Yeah,
So
that's kind of wild.
that'd be interesting.
I didn't even think about that. Do you know when they said they would maybe do that by?
I saw ESPN posted something on Instagram. It was a conversation that they were having. I mean, it's a long process to add teams. They were just saying, if we can get to 18 games, 36 teams would make the most sense. But then they have to like establish that and then go through that process of adding 4 teams.
Yeah.
Which, because I know that the NHL just added a team like 2 years ago, and each team was able to like not blacklist, but like pick a handful of players that they're like, you can't touch these. But then the new team got to go in and select one player from every team or some crazy shit like that.
That's insane.
And they ended up winning the Stanley Cup or going to the Stanley Cup like 3 years in a row.
Jesus.
Because they just had good, solid players. It was fucking bizarre.
Yeah, that's insane to me. I don't know how I'd feel about that in the NFL. Because with 4 teams, imagine losing 4 of your players just because a new team comes into existence.
And they wouldn't be your best players, but they'd be solid. Like for the Vikings, I could see it like probably your third down receiver, like that solid guy who's like, you know he's going to catch the ball on third and short, whatever, makes great plays throughout the game. Like that's a big position to lose.
Is. And do you think that the quality of players goes down because there's just more teams?
I would say no, just because I'm just going to use Tom Brady as an example, or just any undrafted player that's on the team that's doing well.
Yeah.
It's not like, I mean, they are one in a handful, but I do think that there's a lot of players that never get a chance that would actually do well. So I could actually see it going, not the quality definitely wouldn't go down. Right. I'd say the quality would be the same.
I could see that. And you could use Khalil Herbert on the Bears as an example. He was a 6th round draft pick, and he ended up being a stud when Montgomery was hurt. So
Adam Thielen's a perfect example.
Yeah, you look, there's a ton of guys that you wonder, like, man, how many guys that are similar to him never got a chance, right? So it'd
be interesting.
Point. Yeah. So we both got the 49ers against the Jags. Now we got the Dolphins at Jets. God.
I mean, I'm going to take the Jets because of Blake Cashman. So Cashman, you better be fucking listening to this.
Is Jacoby Brissett still starting for the Dolphins, or did he get hurt?
I have no idea.
I'm going to take the Dolphins on this one. I don't think we have a different pick. Oh, no, we do. We have the Packers, Vikings. Yeah, I'm going to take the Dolphins, also because both teams just suck. So we got Saints at Eagles.
Do you want to take the Saints?
No. I'm taking the Eagles. They're at home.
I don't know if I could take the Saints. I think I'm taking the Eagles too.
Jalen Hurts played well last week.
The Eagles have not been bad.
Yeah, they've been okay. Speaking of like funny, we're talking about the wild card now. The Bears and Vikings are maybe competing for the last spot. The Eagles are closer to a playoff spot than the Bears. The Bears really are like, they have to probably win out. Well, not win out, but
they've got 2 games against the Vikings still, and the Vikings are only half a game up.
The Bears can really the best they can, or the worst they'll be able to do to get into the playoffs is 8 and 9. Oh
wait, no. The Vikings are up 1 game now.
Yeah,
because of the bye week last week.
You guys are 4 and 5.
Yes.
Yeah, we're 3 and 6. We should be 4 and 5. We should have won that Steelers game. That was bullshit.
Yeah,
we got screwed out of 4 points and we lost by 2. But whatever. What can you do? Also, I don't fucking play for him, so who gives a shit? I'm just kidding. I care. Next one we got is the Bengals at Raiders.
I think that'll be a good game too. Bengals.
I'm going to take the Raiders, even though I feel like the Bengals might win.
That's a divisional game, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm taking the Raiders because they're at home in the division. That's kind of it. I feel like the Bengals... It's hard. Depends when you ask. They both kind of lose games when you're like, that are head scratchers.
We got these. I was just looking at these next games. These are some good fucking games coming up.
Yep.
And I'm excited because these are all afternoon games.
I know.
Both the Vikings and Bears will be done, so we can actually watch these.
I know. So we'll have the Cowboys at Chiefs. Who do you got?
I don't want to say the Chiefs are back because it was only 1 week.
I know.
But like, It's
Mahomes lit it up.
It's one of those
400 yards passing, 5 TDs, no picks.
right. So and that's the thing because with the Chiefs, it's not like they had injuries. It's just they were out of sync.
Yeah,
Are they back in sync now?
that's a question.
I'm gonna pick the Chiefs because fuck the Cowboys because they beat the Vikings and it was so Chiefs.
I'm gonna take the Cowboys because I think they're just fucking legit. I think they're good.
I pick way too much off emotion.
That is true. I mean, I do too. Cardinals at Seahawks.
Again, I think another good game.
Is Kyler Murray back?
I don't know, but Russell Wilson doesn't look that good.
No.
I'm gonna take the Cardinals.
It's gonna depend on whether he's back or not for me. It says he's pretty okay. So a day ago, Kyler Murray said he was pretty close to returning from ankle injury. In some fantasy reports, they said Kyler Murray trending towards return.
Okay, so let's play it this way. If he returns, he's definitely not going to be 100%.
Yeah.
Like, the Seahawks Stadium is one of the hardest to play in for an away team, but the Seahawks have not been that good.
They haven't. I'm going to take the Cardinals just because I think their roster is better in general. But shit, if Murray isn't playing and they get smoked, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Steelers at Chargers.
I'm going Steelers.
The Chargers have been iffy, I feel like. I've been
So the Chargers have been this pretty much the same as the Vikings in the sense that most of their games have been one possession games. I think now I think they're 5-3.
5-4.
5-4 in one. No, in one possession games.
Oh, okay.
Because the Vikings, they were 5-2, and the Vikings were 2-4.
Wow.
Wait, 5-2, whatever it was. I think it's going to be a close game, and I'm going to take the Steelers.
All right, and then we got.
Who'd you take? Steelers.
I didn't even pick mine. I'm taking the Chargers. They're at home, and I feel like they're going to turn it around. We got Giants at Bucks.
Bucks.
Yeah. I say Bucks and it shouldn't even be close, but then it fucking happens.
With our track record.
I know. I'm still going to take the Bucks. Do you think we should still do...
Week 12?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, game 1 of Week 12 from Google is the Bears at Lions on
Thursday
Thanksgiving
night.
Day, 11:30 a.m.
I'm taking the Bears.
I'm taking the Bears as well. Then we got the Raiders at Cowboys Thursday, and this is the midday game on Thanksgiving.
I'm taking the Cowboys.
I'm taking the Cowboys. Then for the Thursday night game on Thanksgiving evening, the Bills versus the Saints.
And going into the season, I would have said this is going to be a great fucking game.
Yeah.
But Bills.
Sometimes the Saints beat good teams, man. You never know. But I'm still going to take the Bills, but I still think it'll be a game. And we got Steelers at Bengals. Man, they play 2 weeks in a row.
That's going to be a good fucking game,
no, they
too.
didn't play last week. Just kidding. Or this week. Whatever. Ooh, interesting.
I'm gonna take the Steelers.
I'm going to take the Bengals at home. And you're taking them week 11. Okay.
I'm on the Steeler bandwagon right now.
Yeah, you are. Then we got the Panthers at Dolphins.
See, and this is where I wish I could see Cam Newton play for a week.
Yeah.
But I'm riding it. Cam Newton, Panthers.
I'm taking the Panthers. It's funny because when you're picking a week ahead, like I want to know how the teams do this week before I know. It's also a week.
Any injuries?
Injuries, COVID list. I mean, shit.
Mm-hmm.
So we might be way off the boat on some of these. Eagles at Giants.
And watch this be our best one because we really can't overanalyze it.
Yeah, I know. We can't overthink it.
I'm going to say Eagles.
Yep, me too. Titans at Patriots.
So this means if I take the Titans, I'm going to take the Patriots.
Fucking A, I was thinking about taking them, and I don't want to have every pick be the same. But will Derrick Henry be back by then? No, he's on IR, isn't he?
He's not. Yeah, I think he's done for the season.
Shit. Fuck it, dude. I'm taking the Patriots too. I'm on the bandwagon. I like Mac Jones.
I like Mac Jones.
He's good. I think right now, over the course of the whole season, he's been playing better than Fields. But I think Fields is getting better and better each
Fields
week.
has a higher ceiling.
Fields will be better next year, I think.
Wasn't that the whole thing? Fields had a higher ceiling, but Mac Jones was a safer play in the draft. Or am I making that up?
No, that's what a lot of people said. I don't know if I really agreed with that or if I do agree with it. I don't know. It's tough to say, but that is what a lot of analysts said. Yeah.
Because I'm just saying, if the roles were reversed and the Bears had Mac Jones and the Patriots had Justin Fields, would you say the same thing, or are you saying a lot of this based on the emotion?
You know what? I genuinely don't know because I don't know how Mac Jones would do in our offense.
That's true. It is very scheme driven.
Yeah, and our offensive scheme kind of sucks, and I think Justin Fields kind of bails out our coach a lot of times. For example, that fourth and 3, like 30-yard touchdown he ran, that's up there.
Mac Jones isn't doing it.
No. So after the Titans Patriots, we have the Falcons at Jaguars.
Falcons.
Dude, I'm gonna take the Jaguars. I don't think the Falcons are that good.
I don't think either team's good.
I think that's a chance for them. I think both teams aren't very good. And watch the Falcons shit on them now. But I'm just gonna take the Jaguars because fuck it. Then we have the Buccaneers at the Colts.
Above. Colts.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to take the Bucs. I don't trust that. Now we got a fucking toilet bowl coming up. Jets and Texans.
I can't pick the Jets 2 weeks in a row, so I got to pick the Texans.
Yeah, it is at Houston, too. I'm going to take the Texans. Then we have the Chargers at Broncos.
I think that'll be a good game.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm going to take the Chargers.
I was going to. It's a divisional game. It's at Denver. I do think the Chargers are going to win, but fuck it. I'm taking the Broncos. Mostly because I think they actually have a chance. And
I think that'll be a good game.
It'll be a good game. And I just don't want that many similar picks to you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it if I thought it was a lock. If I thought it was a lock, I'm not doing it. But sometimes we think it's a lock, and then shit happens. They say any given Sunday.
Yep.
So then we got the Vikings at San Francisco.
Vikings. The Vikings are winning out.
I'm picking San Francisco to win because the Bears need the Vikings to lose. So we got to get up in the wild card rankings. Then we have the Rams at the Packers.
Rams.
I'm taking the Packers.
Really?
I just think they're better.
They're not.
I hate saying that, but I think they're better.
Aaron Rodgers is better.
Yeah, but that's really what I mean. Yeah. Browns at Ravens.
I think that's going to be a good game, too.
Yeah.
Ravens.
Same. Seahawks at Washington.
I'm going to pick Washington.
See, this is tough because Washington's not that good, but Seattle is neither.
Yeah. So
that sucks. But with Russell Wilson back, I'm taking him because I just trust him
more.
That's really all it comes down to. And this is life as a casual NFL fan. Mm-hmm. You watch and you're like, I don't know, where they're at injury-wise, whether I might have said Redskins at one point on accident. Whoops.
That's funny.
Oops. Yeah. But I don't think that the Washington football team is very good, and you look at their record and go figure they're not very good.
Yeah.
But I think the Seahawks are at least better with Russell Wilson than they were without him, which is they're better than 3-6 without Russell Wilson getting hurt.
A little bit better.
Did they start off like 3-1 or
that?
No?
I don't remember that.
Let's look. Oh no, clicked on the wrong game. All right, I don't care enough. I quit.
Oh, I got them right here. Okay. So they lost. Wait, which one's okay? That's preseason. They beat the Colts.
Okay.
They lost to the Titans. They beat the Vikings. Yep, beat the 49ers, so they're 3-1.
And then
lost to the Rams, 3-2. Lost to the Steelers, 3-3.
And I think Russell Wilson got hurt in that fourth game.
Okay.
So they're definitely a better team with him.
Yes.
Well, that's our picks for the next 2 weeks. So. Boom.
Questions.
Yeah, getting some questions here.
Question 1. I just started tracking my macros, and I eat way too many carbs and not enough protein. I'm vegan, so how do I get enough protein without over-consuming carbs?
Well, Ralphie's a vegan, so So,
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You got your answer.
That's Ralphie's answer. All right, I'm gonna set him down now. He should be fine now. All right, so at the risk of sounding like an asshole, here's my answer.
Don't be vegan.
Go on Google, type in best vegan protein sources, and there's your answer. Because here's the thing that I understand these questions, but you have people that aren't vegan too that also struggle to get their protein in, and they go, well, what are the best ways to get more protein in? Eat more foods that you know have a lot of protein in them. Eat more chicken, more steak, animal proteins for people who are not vegan, whey protein, eggs. Like eat the things that you know are high in protein. You know what's high in protein.
Yes.
Right? And if you're vegan, that means that you've probably done a lot of nutritional like research on your own to find out like you've come to a conclusion and why you're vegan, right? So now if you're trying to increase your protein intake.
Well, I would argue that because I think a lot of times people that aren't doing it for moral reasons do it because they think that it's healthier, or they had a friend that went vegan that lost a ton of weight.
Yeah. So then when you know they're looking into it though. They're searching stuff on the internet.
Are they?
Not?
I don't.
Yeah.
See, and that's yes, logically speaking, and I'm not just saying that to offend anyone, but logically speaking, yes, you would do the research to figure it out. But I think a lot of people just think, oh, this is healthier, so I'm just going to cut out all animal sources of foods and go from there.
But then they start looking up like vegan recipes. Is X, fill in the blank. Is this food vegan?
Okay, so let's play that. Yes, they did that, and they've realized now that they're way over consuming carbs and still not getting it. So if you had a client who was vegan and was struggling to get protein, I mean, you wouldn't tell your client to, depending on the client, you might say Google it. Right. Right. Yes.
I would tell them, hey, look at the client handbook that you got when you signed up that gives you all of the vegan protein sources.
Download the fucking 30 Days of Totally Fuckable.
Yeah, that does have some vegan protein examples in there. Now, number one for me, tofu, tempeh, seitan. I think that's how you pronounce it, seitan.
Seitan,
But
yeah.
whatever. Satan.
Seitan.
So those are going to be your highest protein foods if you're looking at protein to calories. And edamame is up there as well. Lentil beans. I have a few more pulled up actually down here. I was just naming some off. And then so this is where from the list down here is where it gets a little bit where you're getting some carbs in there too, where you have beans. Nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast can be really good. I'd also say texturized vegetable protein. You can make that, and it almost looks like ground beef or ground meat when you make it, and you can use that as taco seasoning. Make burritos with it. Put it in a meat sauce and have like some spaghetti squash. There's a lot of things you can do. One of my favorite recipe books that I've downloaded for someone who's on a vegan diet would be a Renaissance periodization, which you're gonna laugh at this. That's Mike Israel's company. So they have a great vegan recipe book, and everything from texturized vegetable protein meals to tofu, tempeh, seitan that help you give you ways to prepare it that don't taste like shit. So generally, all you need to do is think about this. We have nutritional yeast, texturized vegetable protein, lentils, tofu, tempeh, seitan, edamame. That's seven good protein sources. And you just have to really find maybe 2 or 3 that you enjoy making and you enjoy eating, and find different ways of preparing those. Because for me, most of it is like chicken, ground turkey, steak.
Yeah.
And then I prepare those in different ways. Sometimes I use a teriyaki marinade. Otherwise, it might be like a bourbon barbecue. I use teriyaki with my chicken sometimes. Like mix it up. And that's how you can kind of avoid getting burnt out on those foods, is just preparing it different ways. And it can be super easy once you have like a handful that are like your go-tos, and you can like prep those for the week. That would be my go-to, and then have some protein as well. I would there's some good vegan proteins. You can also do a mix of rice and soy protein powders, and that can give you a similar amino acid profile to a whey protein. Because that's my biggest gripe with most whey protein. So if you go with a 70-30 split of rice to pea protein, pea protein, not soy protein. Rice to pea protein powder, 70 to 30%, you can actually get a similar amino acid profile to a whey protein. So that would be my go-to for any like protein shakes. But realistically, having any kind of whey protein or any kind of protein powder, like a vegan protein powder, is going to be helpful. So not that you necessarily need to be trying to optimize for getting enough like leucine specifically in your diet. But when you're not consuming animal proteins, having that extra bit from the whey and pea protein versus just like rice and pea protein, that can be a little bit better than something that's just a random like vegan protein powder. And again, for people who are already getting enough leucine through like animal proteins, they don't have to worry about that. For someone on a vegan diet, that would probably be helpful.
And so my quick answer would just be a vegan protein powder, just because of the simplicity of it, while you're trying to figure out what vegan proteins sources that you agree with or that you end up actually enjoying. But I'd say throw in some BCAAs. That's where I see, like, because you do get that amino profile or breakdown with BCAAs. So throw a scoop of BCAAs in your protein powder or something like that.
Yeah, that's another option. And you can find flavorless BCAAs as well if you have
I found that out the hard way.
Powder. Yeah. Do you have flavorless BCAAs plain?
Yes.
Yeah. It's not
because I got it to make my water taste better, but when I clicked on it, it auto changed it to like the natural one or the unflavored, and then you had to go pick the flavor. Yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah, that'll do it. I mean, it just tastes like powder water.
It's chalk. Yeah.
All right, question 2. What are the best functional movements to implement into your training?
I feel like I go on a rant at least once in a podcast, and this is going to be my rant. Because what the fuck do you define as functional? You know, to me, I could almost argue any exercise is functional, because when you use your muscles, isn't that functional? So, like, I know the argument comes from get out of the sagittal plane, because a lot of training is just always in the sagittal. A lot of bodybuilder powerlifting training is in the sagittal plane.
Explain what that is.
So all three of them, sagittal, frontal, transverse. So basically, anytime you pick something up or set it down, you're in the sagittal plane. So what is it? If you take a piece of glass and cut your body in half from front to back, any movement that essentially is scraping or scrubbing that mirror is sagittal. So your squats, your dead, any hip hinging pattern, any knee dominant pattern,
front raises. You could also argue that this is the funny thing about these planes of motion is, sorry, I gotta let you explain.
No, go for it.
Well, so there's also the sagittal plane, right, which is
frontal.
Frontal plane, which is more side to side movement. If you do lateral lunges, you could argue lateral raises could be sagittal or frontal.
Right, depending on what
the arm angle is. And then transverse is the rotational plane. So think like Russian twists or any kind of dynamic like kettlebell movements. Or
a lot of core oblique exercises.
Yep. So what's funny is you could argue that technically everything is done in the transverse plane.
Bench press is considered a transverse movement because of scapulas.
Yes. And you could argue that any pressing is in the transverse plane. And if you're going to argue that, then because of what the shoulder blades do in a row or a pull down, those are also kind of a transverse plane. Because essentially in every exercise, there is a degree of rotation in every joint.
And that's why I wanted you to go through this, because that's the thing. People try and put exercises and movements in camps, and it's like, oh, I need to do this, so I can't do this exercise because it doesn't follow X, Y, or Z. Where, like, I look at the movement patterns. Like, all 7 movement patterns. Do we have to go through this again?
No.
Yeah, whatever. You got your 7 big fundamental movement patterns. To me, if you can get good at those, you're going to be as functional as you need to go through day-to-day life and actually be better than day-to-day life, because the amount of people that are good at day-to-day life that aren't good at the 7 fundamental movement patterns, like, if you can get good at that, that's what you need to do.
Yeah, but also, like, who the fuck are we kidding that when we try to act like deadlifting is going to help you be, more safe when you pick up a laundry basket. You know what I
Right.
mean? Where it's
Right.
like people, oh well, when you do hip hinges, it'll be like that Romanian deadlift and will make it easier to pick things up around the house and blah blah blah. It's, well, yeah, because you're just fucking stronger.
Right. But I would argue it's learning that movement pattern, which is what's going to make it safe. You can if you got good at deadlifting 100 pounds, you would never be in danger of I shouldn't say never. It would mitigate the risk of getting injured from picking something up at your house.
For sure.
But if you aren't good at deadlifting, period, your risk of injury increases.
Yeah. The reason I would say it's like a deadlift isn't functional compared to like what we do in everyday life
A Zercher squat.
is because we don't pick shit up with a flat back. When you pick anything up off the floor, pay attention the next time you pick something off the floor. Now that you pay attention to it, you might keep your back flat.
I do
when
keep
you
my
bend
back
over.
flat because I do think about it.
So sometimes I do. But most of the time, if I grab something off the floor, here's an example. If I'm sitting on this fucking chair right here, if I grab something, I'm getting into a bunch of lateral flexion, which a lot of people say you should never load and you should never do that. Fuck them. I'm rounding my back to go pick something up here.
Mm-hmm.
We always fucking do it, So like, how transferable is it really? Now, like you said, these 7 movement patterns are all really important, and I think, and I'll go through them really quick because I think there's 6, because we have a squat.
I would say knee dominant.
So knee dominant, lower body, that'd be a squat. Hip dominant, hip hinging, any Romanian deadlifts, anything like that, deadlifts, whatever. So we have squat and a hinge, and we have push, which is any,
Vertical and horizontal.
Yeah, so chest pressing, shoulder pressing. We have pulling, any kind of rowing movements, and then
lat pull downs.
Yep, and then we have a lunge and a carry. So to me, if you do carrying, really it's about locomotion, continuous movement while holding weight under load. Walking lunges technically would be a carry, really, right? So that's locomotion with weight, and that's mostly focused on like proprioception and coordination more than anything else. So you can get that out of walking lunges.
I've been throwing carries in with every single one of my clients now, just because of the translation. I don't know if that's the right word, but the carryover that it has to a lot of other movements. When you're carrying stuff, it's all trunk stability.
Mm-hmm.
So like everything goes through. Like when you do a movement, your core is firing, and it's actually the locomotion of it. Like if you can get really good at stabilizing your core, it's only going to improve other lifts for the average person.
Yeah.
For us, like I don't do carries myself because that's not really going to help me with bodybuilding.
Yeah.
It would help me in day-to-day life. It would help me be a more not healthy individual, well-rounded maybe, but I'm not like I'll have my clients do like farmers carries or like front rack carries.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear you. I think people talking about adding functional movements into your training, I mean, like why?
Right.
Do you like it, or do you think there's some benefit that you're missing out on? Like, it just depends. I think for the most part, you just like don't need to.
Right.
For most people that are training for like body composition, those like functional movements, people talk about that. They're mostly talking about like kind of a lot of stuff you see in CrossFit, really. More so like with the kettlebell stuff, like Turkish get-ups and kettlebell swings, or people even say like box jumps are functional. Or people say like, oh, free weights are more functional than machines. And you're like, well, functional for what? Right? For someone that's trying to build muscle, that's not necessarily true. So honestly, I think if you just like doing functional movements, then throw them in just for fun. Like, sure. But other than that, like, it just doesn't fucking matter.
Question 3. What is the training and diet regimen you would recommend to Batman?
So obviously, like, Batman's got to fight a lot of bad dudes, right? But like, he's also got a lot of fucking money, so you can have some really fucking cool weapons. So
He's got a lot of fucking money.
So does his hand-to-hand combat have to be that good? And like, I would say no, but also yes, because if he loses a fight, and he has out of fucking weapons, and like, yeah, you're dead now.
Yeah.
The main thing.
But if you have that much money and you're out of weapons, do you really want to keep going?
That's true. I think, to me, the most important thing is actually just practicing hand-to-hand combat more so than lifting weights. Most, look at boxers, like lightweight boxers. They could knock us the fuck out.
Well, maybe you.
And we warm up with their maxes.
Yeah.
And they'd knock us out.
Uh-huh.
More so you than me.
Oh.
But they would. So for Batman, it's number one. I would put him on a more of like a boxing or like MMA style training regimen. There's one specific exercise that I would for sure have him do, and that would be the hammer strength jammer press.
What the fuck is that?
We had one of those in my high school gym, and it was like almost, imagine like a hammer strength, like an incline chest press, but there's no seat or pad there. So you're standing. So what you do is you load into your hips and your quads, into your whole lower body. You have your upper body loaded too, and then you explode with your lower body, and you kind of come into like a split stance with your feet.
I like that.
And then you just fucking explode with the upper body and press. And that can be super helpful in like combat, really hand-to-hand combat, shoving this dude off of you. I would have him do a lot of mobility work. So if he gets like caught in some fucking weird ass positions in a fight, that he'll have a little bit better like joint integrity and things like that, especially in like end ranges of motion. And then I'd also just have him get strong as shit. Because if he can get strong while he's also doing all of these other things, he doesn't need to get big. But if he can get strong and be mobile and then just practice fighting, everything he's going to do will get better if he gets strong as shit. And I also love this question, but it also kind of pisses me off because now I want to train Batman.
See, you answered this way more seriously than I would.
By the way, diet regimen, he would be tracking his macros. And
on the 5-year plan tracker? Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
You answered this way more seriously. I would have him do the same shit that I do because I'm fucking Batman. I'm Batman. I mean, fucking look at me. Look at me. Right here. Yep. See? I'm Batman. Yeah, you took a totally different avenue on that one.
Should have let you answer that first.
No, but I like that. I like that. Because honestly,
I thought you were going to give me a good answer.
That's how I would do it.
Yeah.
No, maybe do some fucking, we had a sled, but it was on a track and it was on an incline. Ooh. So you can put some weight onto the sled and you see how much weight you can put on the sled while pushing that sled all the way up, and it would make a little bell noise. This was in high school. Make a little bell noise when you did it.
Interesting.
90% of the guys couldn't even do it with just the sled. It fucking hard.
Did you get it?
My senior year.
Yeah.
With no weight.
I would probably get it faster than you would.
It was one of those, because you go up super easily and you get about 3/4 to 5/6 of the way up, and it just like fucking stops.
That's wild. Well, I think that does it.
That's how she wrote.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving, you pipe hitting bitches.
Yes.
Thank you for watching this episode of 5-Year Plan. If you like what we're doing here on the show, be sure to like and subscribe.
If you want one of your questions answered on a future podcast, you can write into our website at www.5yearplanmedia.com, or you can write into our Instagram page at 5yearplanmedia. You can find me on Instagram at @Z_Condon.
And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at ConnorYoungman_.
Peace.
See ya.